Hello everyone and welcome to this video series, Tohoku Campervan Adventures. I recently came back from a 2-week trip exploring the Tohoku area of Honshu, Japan in a mini camping car. Not only did this campervan take me all over Tohoku, covering 2,400 kilometers or about 1,500 miles, but it was also my home on wheels as I slept inside and cooked dinner in the tiny space almost every night. So come with me as we explore Tohoku, going to highlights of different prefectures, onsen hopping to our heart's content, and enjoy yummy meals full of local ingredients. 2 weeks in camper car, let's go! Day 1 was a big travel day from Fukuoka to Narita Airport. My partner and I each had a carry-on backpack and an extra checked bag for a total of 4 bags. Our checked-in bags were packed with clothes and items for camping and cooking. The morning travels went smoothly, and 2 hours later we touched down in Narita. From there, it was a short taxi ride to the campervan rental place. I'll give a more detailed overview of the car later, but here's a sneak peek. After picking up the car, we hit the road, heading north to our first destination, Tochigi Prefecture. Unfortunately, the weather was gloomy and we were met with gray skies, clouds, and rain. It wasn't the beautiful start I was hoping for, but it can only get better from here, right? It took a while to get used to our car, which was a bit older and more rickety than we expected. Out the window, we passed by Ushiku Daibutsu, a large Buddha statue that towered in the distance. We also stopped for a break at the Kasuma rest stop. Back on the road, the drive to Tochigi continued with more clouds, fog, and rain. This was a spot by a river that we stopped to stretch our legs, see the water, and use the bathroom. From here, the road was extremely winding and mountainous as we made our way towards Ryuzu Falls. We arrived at Ryuzu Falls right after 5 p.m. The sun had just set and the stores near the falls were closing, but I was still able to see the falls and the hint of fall colors just starting to peek out. I wasn't properly prepared with rain gear, so my camera and I got soaked in the photo taking process. But I think it was worth it. Having skipped lunch, by the time we were done with the falls, we were starving and ready for dinner. There were very few shops in the area, but we found one that was open. I picked out a kalbi soup base, some meat and veggies, as well as fruit and yogurt for breakfast. After shopping, we had to drive back down the mountain, which was windy and treacherous as before, with added darkness and heavier rain. This was as big a driving test as you could have asked for on the first day. Slow and steady, we made it down safely into a quiet parking spot near a small park and bathroom for the evening. Here's our little creepy van. No parking lot. The nice thing is, it is right by a bathroom. I hope it's not locked. Hallelujah. This is a sign in the bathroom and it says, "Beware of leeches." Apparently, there are Japanese mountain leeches, which are also called Yamabiru, that are active between April and November. So you have to protect yourself and they can suck your blood, and that is very creepy. So in addition to bears, we are also worried about mountain leeches. Gross. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We are in a car! So this is the dinner that we picked up at the market. We have some kalbi soup that we're going to heat up, along with some noodles. Treating ourselves to some fresh meat. And then for breakfast, I got a yogurt. For our little snackies, we have oranges, and there's some eggs that we are going to boil tonight. We're eating like kings! One of the items I was most excited to bring along on this camper trip was this little Iitaki hot pot. So because we were going to be cooking a lot in the car, I brought it, and you bet it was a lifesaver. Ooh, rah, rah. Michelin star inside a camper car. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Dang, this is Korean soup with eggs and beef. Okay. Car camping ain't that bad. Alright, you can see these fancy blue lights around me. This is the lighting that we get for evening time. I have brushed my teeth and it is time to settle down. I think I will write a little bit in my vlog so that I can remember everything that happens. And what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna just start drawing in a journal, but I need some light. Do you happen to have a little lamp thing that we can hang on to?
What's wrong with these lights here?
They're not really great. They're like really blinding.
All right, these are very blinding. In fact, I do have a light. Here's one light. Would you like a headlamp? This is one option. This is from Daiso. A lot of my items are from Daiso. I took this on my first solo camping. So yeah, I will use it to light myself. I have another light that I think you'll like more, and I was very excited to buy this one, and I thought it would be trash, but here you go. See if you like what this little lamp is doing.
Whoa.
And?
Dude. Alright.
Find the button to turn on.
It's literally a lamp.
Wait, press the button again. Press the button again. And I have, because I'm sure you're gonna ask, how do I hang up the lamp? Here you go. So here we are, lying down on the camper. This mini camper is not for the long of legged or the faint of confined space. But lucky me, I fit, and that is all that matters. So we will see how this will go for the next 2 weeks. But this is the situation. We have some fun lights up here. They turn colors if you tap them, so we can have a party in here if we really want. But it is time to settle down for the night. It is only 6:30.
7:30.
It is only 7:30. But camper life is tiring, man. So I will be signing off soon and starting the morning early tomorrow. So, saying good night for day 1. We made it to Tohoku almost. We're in Tochigi, so not quite, but we made it out of Fukuoka, out of Narita, and we are on an adventure. See you tomorrow. Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. It is day 2 of our Tohoku adventure in a camping car. Looks like someone else joined us last night at this little camping spot. And you can see all the condensation on the windows, but it was surprisingly pretty warm in here. Wasn't too cold, and just used one little blanket last night. The amazing thing is that it looks like it is finally not raining, so I'm really excited to be able to get out of the car without worrying about getting wet and exploring some of the area around us. The rain was not fun, but hopefully it's behind us now and we can enjoy some beautiful time here. Yesterday I flew from Fukuoka to Narita, where I rented a tiny camper van and started making my way up north. I made it to the Nikko area of Tochigi prefecture, where I saw the beautiful Ryuzu Falls. The weather looks to have finally cleared up today, so I can't wait to see what the area has to offer. Good morning! So we ended up parking right by this Kanman ga Fuchi Abyss, and we are going to go for a little stroll, but it looks like there are some big bear warnings, so I have a bear bell on me. There are multiple waterfalls here, surging into the river, which is very clear, but moving so fast, there's so much white water. All right, time to test if this fridge worked. Oh, it is cold in here. And it's breakfast time. After eating some yogurt and boiled eggs, it was time to go to the car and head to the Shrines and Temples of Nikko, a recognized World Heritage Site since 1999. So we just parked the car and now we are going to go see a bridge and then some of the famous shrines and temples in this area. Good morning to us. It's a beautiful day. You can see up ahead, people are taking pictures. This is the Shinkyo Bridge, a picturesque red bridge. So it says that we are at the Nikko National Park, but this morning we are taking a stroll to see some of the shrines and temples in this area. And the first one up is called Rinnoji. So we're gonna go look at that. There's just a nice shaded walkway here behind me, lined with trees on either side, and we have gotten to the Futarasan Jinja. Next to Nikko Futarasan Shrine was the Rinnoji Taiyuin Temple, which is dedicated to Tokugawa Iemitsu, the third shogun of the Edo shogunate. So there are several shrines and temples in this area. We briefly walked through a few of them, but actually entered in the one that I was just in. This one has a mausoleum and is actually really beautiful, but the buildings are super ornate and it is just in the heart of nature. So there's trees all around and it's quiet and very beautiful. So if you are coming here, this is one of the areas that I recommend. So now we are heading back to the parking lot to continue our journey. We are heading out of Tochigi now and onwards. After a morning around the shrines and temples of Nikko, it was back into the car to head towards Fukushima, our first Tohoku prefecture. It was about 2 hours to our next spot, To no Hetsuri. We just crossed the border into Fukushima prefecture. So we just parked and we're here at To no Hetsuri. So this is the little area, a few minutes walk from the parking lot, and then we will be crossing a small suspension bridge to get to the viewpoint. This is a popular sightseeing spot for fall foliage around a cool landscape, but it was a little early for peak colors. Across the bridge there was a small temple inside a cave, so I looked around there before heading back. So we just saw the To no Hetsuri. It was this little area that has these really interestingly carved rocks due to the river, and the autumn leaves were not so developed yet, so Didn't see much, but lots of green, and there was a river flowing nearby. So now we are hungry and going to head to the lunch spot. So hopping in the car and going to get lunch. It was just a short 20-minute ride to Oichijuku, a former post town known for its thatched roof buildings. We are at the next spot. It is called Oichijuku, and it looks like a pretty popular tourist destination because there are lots of cars. We again parked at the farthest parking lot, but that was more because all of the cars are waiting in line to get closer. So we hopped off to avoid this line of cars, and now we are walking closer to what was an old post town. Ooh, you have these thatched houses. That is what this area is known for, kind of like when we were in Shirakawa-go. After a bit of walking around, it was time to find lunch and try the area's special negi soba, soba topped with a full green onion. I tried eating the noodles with the negi as chopsticks, but it wasn't easy. It was fun though to chomp on the onion throughout, as it provided a spicy crunch and kick of flavor. We have finished our soba meal. I tried to eat that negi like a chopstick, but it was near impossible. But it was good as a condiment, a little bit pungent, but it was nice to nibble on it as I had the soba. So we got the soba with the negi as well as some tempura as a little side. So now I am all filled up and back on the main street to go take some more pictures and see the lookout point of this little town. So at the end of the road, there is a lookout point that you can get some pretty cool views of the whole street and the thatched houses. So climb up the stairs to see that, and it is quite a view. All right, we have left Ouchi. Now we are going to go get some provisions for dinner, and then we are going to head to a campsite. Yes, today we are at an official campsite, so looking forward to that. Hello friends, it is 4 p.m. and we have made it to our, oh, there's a bug on my lens. Hello friends, we have made it to our campsite for tonight. We are at a fun and fancy-ish campground here in Fukushima. We had a full day before us, but now we are ready to relax. Going to hopefully have a nice fire and some dinner here outside, and the weather is great, so going to soak that up. But gonna start setting up our little campsite for dinner tonight and enjoy the evening. This has been our camper, but we are situated out here today. We have some rental chairs that are going to come in handy, a little table, and hopefully we will start a nice little fire. Welcome to the great outdoors of Fukushima. So one of the big problems that we have with our current situation are these sleeping bags. We did get them at our rental area, and I'm very thankful that they sold them. But the problem is they smell like fish, like a real nasty fish. And the guy told us when we had rented the campers that when we first opened them, that these sleeping bags would smell bad, and he wasn't lying. I was like, ha ha ha, yeah, okay, we'll just open it out and let it air out. But oh my gosh, the inside of our car the first day, which was yesterday, smelled like fish. It was disgusting. We didn't even sleep with the sleeping bags, and so yeah. Today it smells a little bit better, but not sleepable yet. So word of caution, even if you can rent sleeping bags from your area, make sure that they don't smell bad. All right, friends, this is the moment you might have all been waiting for. Maybe not, but I'm going to give you a rundown of our little camper car. So first we will walk along the sides. You can see that the doors are all open. So I will make this video quickly so that all the bugs don't go inside. But this is a K car, so the smallest kind of size of car in Japan. And there were other sizes available, but I was looking for something that was easy to drive for people who aren't used to driving a lot, somewhere that could park easily, inconspicuously. And I thought that this would also be more fuel efficient, but our little guy here is super old and is a gas guzzler. So unfortunately that didn't pan out, but here you have the 360 view of our little K car. And coming around the side, you can see that this left door opens, the right door does not open, but coming inside here, we have these curtains that separates the front from the back, and these are some nice blackout curtains, so we can pull them when we're sleeping. And then across the way here, we have a curtain that we can pull down, and then there's some lights on the ceiling. These have been installed. And then there is a microwave that comes with the camper. I got an extra portable, refrigerator. And then we have this little mattress that folds out. And we also got 2 pillows and a blanket and the stinky sleeping bags that I mentioned earlier. And then over here, you can see that there's a curtain that I can undo and pull it closed so that this little sleeping area becomes all dark for the night and you can't see in, which is great. Now, this is the view from the back. You can see here we have more of the curtains over here. And this is also the area where you manage the electronics of the car. So here we have the lights. We have some lights up here, lights here, some nice surround lights here, the big light up here, and more lights. And some of these lights are kind of fun because when you touch them, they can change from very bright to off to blue. So we can have some scenic lighting in here. Now you might have noticed that the inside is quite small, and for someone who is 5'5", it is just barely big enough for me, but if you are a taller lad or lady, then this will be even more squishy for you. But yes, back to these lights we have here. You can turn them all off to save some electricity. There is a 12-volt outlet right here, and that's where the portable fridge plugs into, this little guy. And then we also have an inverter. So this inverter needs to be switched on, and when it's switched on, then there's an outlet back here that works, and we also have a microwave. But we're not really looking to use a microwave on this trip. So yes, the inverter goes off. There's actually a separate battery in this car that is running, separate from the normal car battery, and this tells us how much battery is in it. Right now we are at 100%, and the great thing is that this battery is the battery that charges the lights, charges the refrigerator, and things not related to the car itself. So if it dies, we will still be able to drive, and when we do drive, it actually recharges itself. So pretty nifty with that, and we have used it a lot last night, and then it's back at 100, so it looks like it is working well. So that is the simple basics of our little camping van. Of course, oh no, there's fly again. Of course, when we are sleeping, all of our belongings, which are these items, need to go into the front. So when it's nighttime, we throw all of the stuff into the front, and when it's daytime, all of this can go into the back. But that is one slight inconvenience of having a pretty small camper, but it is cozy, it is adventurous, and it is fun, at least on day 2. Have any of you guys ever traveled in a mini camper before, or a large camper? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know if it's anything like this and what your experiences were. But enough of this talk. I have to get to cooking dinner, which is going to be happening over here. So one of the things that we are trying today is our rice. But this time I have brown rice, so I'm not sure how that is going to go, but it is pre-measured to half a cup. I'm going to put this half cup of rice into this rice cooker. And then this rice is good for a 2-to-1 ratio. So I will add in some water to this. Here we are. 1 cup of water going into half a cup of rice. And so they say with this cooker, it's good to let the rice soak a little bit. That reduces the cooking time. So we'll see how that goes. But gonna let this soak for a little bit until we get the fire going. So we'll see if we have rice today. If not, we'll have a little experiment. So if everything goes well, on the menu for tonight will be some rice. We've got some steak and then veggies. I also picked up some ume tea, so some plum tea, which we can have at night. And we have some little eggplant and peppers. And then also this is something I picked up, which is wakame or seaweed soup. So we just need to add this to hot water and we have ourselves some soup. And we have ourselves a fire for tonight. Going to place the rice on so it can start cooking, but that one will take some time. Time to salt and pepper dish meat. Ah, there's wind. Ah. So I thought that I bought ume tea, like sweet plum tea, and just took a swig, and it is definitely savory plum soup. So we are adding in some of the seaweed soup that we had to now make our own plum seaweed soup. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Hopefully this rice is cooked, but we're going to wrap it in a towel. Okay, I will move this away from the fire. Over here. Oh baby, it's time for the meat. Our veggies are going well. So we have our peppers going, some nice eggplant, and we already had a first course of soup. Okay, a moment of truth. It has been over 20 minutes actually. We're still waiting for some stuff to cook, but going to open up the rice. Voila! Alright, alright. Not bad. It's a little crunchy, but I think we have no burn on the bottom, and this entire thing is full. So this was half a cup of brown rice, cooked on the stove. Itadakimasu! Alright, dinner time. I'm gonna start with a few scoops of my brown rice to be healthy. And then I'm gonna move over to the grill where we've got mountain veggies. Got a nicely seared pepper. Add some green to this plate. Here's a good looking eggplant. And 2 strips of this meat for myself. Don't mind if I do. And here you have it. This is our day 2 campfire meal here in Fukushima. Itadakimasu! Alright friends, we are back in the blue cave. I am so tired and ready for sleep. I think I last left off where we had the last left off at dinner. We had some meat, we had some potatoes that weren't cooked very well, so we had to boil them afterwards, but the green peppers were delicious, and I was so happy that we had some rice to enjoy with the meal. After cleaning up the camp food and all of the silverware and stuff, we went to a nearby onsen. It was just a 2-minute drive away from the campsite, so was able to get a nice hot bath. It was exactly the best way to end the day. It wasn't a fancy onsen, but it was just so nice to be able to wash and soak, and now I am clean again. So I'm in bed. Tomorrow I'm looking at a very early day. I'm trying to catch a very special photo that happens early in the morning. So stay tuned for that. But because of that and because I'm very tired, I am off to bed now. It is 9:30 p.m. Day 2 has ended and we are going to have a great night's sleep. See you on day 3. Good morning, everyone. We are up early today. It is 5:40 a.m. just in time to see the beautiful sunset, hear some morning birds, and start day 3 of our Tohoku journey. So we have had a busy morning, jumped into the car after packing up all of our stuff, and now we are on our way to a bridge. Yes, I am trying to get a photo of a train crossing a bridge, and it only happens at certain times. So we are up bright and early, going to hopefully go catch that train. Would any of you guys also wake up before sunrise to go take a picture of a train? Not sure how our visibility is going to be today, but straight ahead you can see how much fog we have this morning. It is such a beautiful morning. Yes, we have lots of mist today, but we have the river below us and the mountains and all of these trees, which will one day become more orange. So this is the roadside station that we are at to see the train and bridge view. You can see there's an arrow here pointing to the Tadame River viewpoint, and that's where we walked to get to the bridge views. There is a bus that comes here, but extremely infrequently, so it'd be best to have a car if you plan on visiting here. The roadside station is closed right now. It's open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but you can still use the bathrooms freely. So here we are. There are 3 different viewpoints that you can see the bridge from. Each requires a different amount of climbing, but all pretty doable. They have here posted as well the time when the JR line passes through the valley and on the bridge, so you can time your schedule to make it during one of these times. And there are a couple that are clumped together, so I came during the 7:23 time and the 7:41. 2 trains during this one trip. From here, you just go straight through the path by the tunnel. So we have just arrived at the roadside station by the Takumi River. We are now taking a little walk up the path to get to the viewpoint. But this is another area that says there are some aggressive bears, so we have the bear bell with us today. And yeah, this morning it's a little bit cold and we are walking now. You can see aggressive bears, and we're going to the viewpoint. Oh my gosh, my heart rate is spiking early in the morning, but we're getting up these stairs. Here we are by the Takumi River Bridge, waiting for the train to pass so we can snap a photo. You can see this valley, there is the river running through it, and then we have this middle bridge with a beautiful reflection underneath. Looks a little bit like an eyeball. And then above that, the mountains behind are shrouded in mist, but we have the trees and a little bit of fall color starting to peek through. So we made it. We got to see the train crossing the river. I hope you enjoyed the photos. It was really exciting to take, and I myself am not a huge train person, but that was a big check for today's morning, and now we are off to continue the adventures from this roadside station. Let's go! So we have left the roadside station, and now we are heading to Enzoji, a temple in the cliff. Okay, we are at Enzoji, up here. From this temple, there is a great view of this red bridge and the water below it. So from down here, you can see that this temple is built on the side of a cliff, right by the road. Right by the temple, there are these little shops with billowing steam coming out of them, and the signs say Awa Manju. So I think this might be a little confectionery. So if they're open, hopefully we'll be lucky and can pick up a morning manju. All right, here is our awa manju. We have no idea what it is, but it is yellow and a bit sticky. And very soft. Actually not that sticky at all. Inside has the red bean paste, which is very smooth and sweet. Our little morning treat. So we finished our little manju snack, but we have a sugar rush now. So going to hop in the car for about an hour and drive to the mountains for a little afternoon hike. Looking forward to that. See you back on the road. Stopped for some 7-Eleven convenience snack. So eating this as we get close to the visitor center for the Urabandi area. So we have arrived. We just parked the car and are going to be taking a bus. We are at this area called Goshiki Numa, and it is known for its colorful lakes or swamps. And this is a special area that was formed after part of the nearby mountain collapsed from a steam eruption. These lakes and ponds were created, and they're said to show up in many different colors. So going for a little hike here after we get on the bus. All right, we are on our way. We just got off the bus, did a little pit stop, and now this is the beginning of the trail. We are in a bare area that was seen yesterday, but we will continue along this path and try to stay safe. So we have some very bright greens above us, a little bit of a rocky path that looks pretty moist from the recent rains, but passing a lot of other hikers along this trail, which is nice to know that we're not alone in case of any encounters. So we started over here by the visitor center, took the bus along this road for about 5 minutes, got off here, and then we've just started walking, and we've already passed the Yanaginuma Pond and are here right now. So we have this route to follow until we get back to where we parked the car. We have come to one of the lakes. Holy moly. Can you see this blue? What a strange blue. Fushigi. So this was rightfully named Aonuma Pond because Ao means blue. So we got to see the blue colors on its surface. So here from Benten-Numa, you can see some of the famous mountains of Japan. This is a very beautiful nature trail. Just been walking, hearing the rustle of the wind, the ding dong of the bear bell, and seeing all of these lakes. They are mostly blue color, but really pretty, and there's lots of mountains in the distance too. This is called Midoro Pond. Has some reeds growing out of it and a nice green water. Well, darn be it, there are some fish in these lakes. Koi fish. So the little nature walk took us about 1 hour and 15 minutes and was just under 2.5 miles. It was also pretty flat the whole time, just a little up and down, but nothing too hard. After that, we got some lunch at the rest house, 2 bowls of ramen, which were very yummy. And now we are heading to the Bandai skyline to get some cool views and to continue our journey north. We have made it to the Bandai skyline. This is the start of a very scenic road here in the mountains. Taking a little break to see some crater action. Oh boy, it is chilly. But we are here at Mount Azuma, going to leave the parking lot and climb some more stairs where you can see everyone. So we made it up. It's about a 10-minute climb, not so long, but definitely winded. And you can walk around the edge of it. Takes about 40 minutes, they say, but we're not gonna do that today. Definitely did our exercise for the day, but it looks magnificent, and you can see the bottom of this crater. The atmosphere here is incredible. We are at the Fukushima Michi no Eki. So we made it down the mountain after seeing the crater. The scenery was absolutely amazing. Super, super beautiful colors, especially at the top. Afterwards, we started heading towards our campsite for tonight. We stopped at a Michi no Eki, or a roadside station halfway, to pick up some local goods. We are going to have another soup day tonight, so looking forward to some soup, some noodles, and some meat because it is getting chilly, so the warm broth will definitely be great. But we are here at the campsite now. This is kind of a fancy campsite. They have glamping, they have free campsites, and that's where we are. We just have our car parked in the middle of this open space, but it'll be nice to be able to settle down for tonight. We had a super long day that started with the bridge in the morning and then 2 kind of like walky, hikey things. So definitely ready to settle down for tonight, enjoy some good food, and then get some sleep for the next day. So you can see here there are glamping sites, huge dome canopy in the middle, and some lit spaces. I think this is where you can have barbecue and cook. So this is our haul that we got from the Michi no Eki. We have some huge shiitake mushrooms, as well as some ramen for our soup, a bag of Fukushima apples, some pork for the soup as well. These are some smoked eggs that look like aliens, some kimchi for the gut, some aki or fall tea, a little bit of breakfast, which we have some bread, and I got an apple bread. So, going to enjoy this local splurge. Our little Italki is fired up and ready to go. We have these huge shiitake mushrooms that are going to be popped in. So one of the items that we picked up is called USO, and they call it an unidentified smoked object. And these are eggs that look like aliens, and I was trying to learn more about them, but on the back it says that they have been smoked, I think, for a very long time, very specially, and that they can last up to a year in room temperature. And so that means it doesn't need to be refrigerated, and it can also be used as emergency food, is something they wrote. So you can see here the date that it's good until is 2026, October 19th, so that's basically 1 year from now. So they say also that the flavor improves with time, but we're going to eat it pretty soon, so it'll be at its least flavorful. But we have these alien eggs. Look at what the chef has cooked up today. We have a seaweed mushroom soup with some pork, some smoked egg, and ramen noodles, all from our good old Fukushima roadside station. Itadakimasu! Alright, I'm gonna try the broth. These shiitakes are wonderful. This warms the soul, and it has gotten very cold tonight, so. And the smoked egg. This is delicious. I wonder what it tastes like in 1 year. Time to enjoy this car-cooked meal. And to wrap up the meal, we have dessert, which is a fresh apple from Fukushima. So we finished dinner, had a scrumptious noodle soup meal, and cleaned the dishes, and now I am ready for bed. It is, what time is it?
9:17.
It is 9:17. I am super tired. It was an extremely full day with wake up at 5:40 this morning, so I'm really looking forward to some sleep, and we'll get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So no morning sunrise tomorrow, but looking forward to another jam-packed day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Welcome to day 4. Hello everybody, and welcome to this series of Tohoku adventures in a camper van car. I have been traveling from Narita, making my way up north to the very, very top of Honshu Island. Now this is day 4 of the trip, so I've already seen so much, and it has been a load of adventure. So last night was an early night, got to go to bed around 9:30. It was raining so much, so getting out of the camper van to go to the bathroom was a real pain, but made it through the night, actually slept super, super well. It was really warm inside of the van, and I think that's because we cooked our dinner in there, so we had lots of nice heat from the soup that we made that was captured inside the van. Unfortunately, at pretty much exactly 1 a.m., the extra battery in the car started beeping, and at first it showed that it was beeping 50%, and then a few minutes later it said that it was 0. But the beeping wouldn't stop, and I couldn't figure it out, so we eventually had to turn the car back on to let it charge the battery, and that fixed the problem. But it definitely ruined a very deep sleep that I was in, but luckily I was able to get back and sleep until around 7:30. So today is, what day is it? I have no idea. I don't even have my watch on. It's vacation, but I want to say it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It might be Sunday today. We are in Fukushima right now, and on the list is to go to Zao Onsen. But let's continue on this camper van trip. This is some behind the scenes of the camper van camping. So when we sleep in the back, all of our stuff has to go in front. So it is not beautiful. So that's what we gotta do to make space each night to sleep in the back. All of the items have been moved from the front to the back and we're ready to go. We are on the road again, heading to the Zao Onsen area, about 1 hour and 40 minutes away from our campsite. Let's go! Welcome to Yamagata prefecture! Woo! We have entered into a new prefecture. Heading down the mountain, we have some gnarly turns again. Seems to be pretty true of this trip, but going to navigate this windy road. Welcome to Zao! Smells like eggs. So I have made it to Zao Onsen. It is a bit chilly here, so I have put on the little headband. But the first thing that we are going to do today is to go on the ropeway. There are actually 3 ropeways here in the little onsen area, so we are going to take the Chuo ropeway to hopefully get some views of the beautiful orange foliage. So come with me as we go onto the Zao ropeway. We parked our car in the ropeway parking lot and then picked up tickets. It is 2,400 yen for 1 person round trip. We just got off of the ropeway and you can see the spread of autumn colors. Holy moly. So there's some beautiful colors here. Never seen anything like this before. But once you get off the ropeway, this is an area that you can go walking around for a couple hours, or you can go to the cafe that is right above, enjoy some food and some drinks before hopping back onto the ropeway. Wow. A whole mountain of orange. So at the little cafe on the top of the ropeway, they have these croissant sandwiches, some sweets, some drinks, quiche, and soup. So you can definitely get a little snack here if you're looking for something while you're at the top. We have sweet potato latte and mushroom soup. Itadakimasu. I like this soup. So we have made it down the ropeway, enjoyed all of the lovely views that we got to see at the top of the mountain. Now we are going to get a real meal here in Zao Onsen. Time for lunch. So change of plans, we are going to go onsen bathing first. No more photography beyond this point, but I am going to go for a soak in the onsen. We finished doing our onsen soak. It was quite an interesting space. Unlike other onsens in Japan, this one had no shower space, and so you basically undress, pour water over yourself, and go straight in. So it was a bit of a different experience than what I'm used to, but the water smelled super sulfury, and you can see the water running down the mountain and steaming along the rocks right next to the bath. So it was pretty cool to see. So we went to that onsen and afterwards got a quick meal at a cafe next to the ropeway station. And then I went to a small shop that sells mochi. The area is known for a special type of mochi, so I picked up a box that came straight out of the oven, and so we will get to enjoy this later today. But now we are heading out of Zao Onsen. We are going to see a temple in a mountain. We have made it and have started the climb up to the top of this temple. Its nickname is Yamadera, which means mountain temple. And I bet it earned its name because we are going to be climbing over 1,000 stairs to get to the top. But we just entered and the scenery is quite beautiful. Lots of moss on the stones and so many trees on either side. It's just straight stairs. You can see there, but taking them slow and steady, and the scenery around here is absolutely gorgeous. So there's something to look at every step of the way. We have made it to the Okuin in just under 20 minutes. At the last steps, it looks like. Da-da-da. And we made it to the top in about 25 minutes. Has a great view of the city and landscape before us, but wasn't too bad actually. Just a little sweaty, but enjoy the view from the top of this temple. So we just finished climbing to the top of the temple and back. It took about 45 minutes with a lot of photo time along the way. So it was a nice thigh burn, but nothing crazy hard. Just took it nice and slow. And then we got to see a really nice view at the end. So that was about the last thing that we are going to do today. Now going to find a place to sleep and figure out dinner. But this is the temple on the hill in Yamagata prefecture. This is imoni, a Yamagata specialty, kind of like a stew that will be the base of our meal tonight. Something we won't be having is this mushroom, as one mushroom is 5,500 yen. Holy moly, this is a special mushroom. So after our little temple climb, we got back into the car, headed to a local roadside station to pick up some groceries. There was even a foot bath outside of that station. but we got a lot of good foods that I'll show you here. And we are now at another roadside station further up the road, but going to be spending a night here. But it's dinner time, so time to get prepping and to see all of the goods that we got. So today at the roadside station, we picked up a stew. This imoni is a local specialty of Yamagata, so we'll be trying that today. There's also this chimaki, which is a rice wrapped in a leaf, so we're going to steam that. And then we have some vegetables to add to the stew, some persimmons, because we've been seeing that all the time while we've been driving. There have just been so many persimmons, so time to try it ourselves. And then some ringo or apple juice, because this area is also known for apples. And then finally we have some dried figs, just to try out some local goodies. But this is what we got at the market, so let's get cooking. Oh no, our ringo juice comes with a pop top lid. We can't twist it off, and we have no can opener. Let's see if we can prevail without hurting ourselves. In the meantime, we have some nice steamy, oh! Wow! We will have apple juice tonight. Thank you. But we will have to finish it all. Freshly steamed rice wrapped in leaf. Ooh. Ooh, oishiso! They even put the carrot in the middle and it's cut so cute. Ooh, there's meat and veggies and flavored rice. Mmm. There's so much flavor packed in here. This looks like a little pea. Very delicious, hot and steamed. And finally, we have our main course, the imoni. And we added some noodles to it, but looks like there is, what is this? Cognac, a kind of gelatinous root. Oh, that's hot. Do you know what this is? Taro? I think it's taro. Yeah. We have a little taro. And then we added some veggies. This tastes like a home-cooked meal. Another car-cooked meal. Itadakimasu. It's 8:04 and we out of here. Good morning, everybody. We are here on day 5 of our Tohoku camper van road trip. We just left the Michinoeki and now we are heading upwards even more north to a new prefecture. Today we are going to be entering Akita. So on the docket for today, we are going to visit first up the samurai village in Akita, also known as Kakunodate Machi. So come with me as we continue this adventure here in Japan. We just passed a sign saying that it is 10 degrees Celsius outside, so it is getting colder and colder as we go. Oh wow, and now it says we are at 9 degrees Celsius. So it is no joke as we move farther north in Tohoku, it is getting chillier and chillier. Last night was the first night that we spent at a Michinoeki, and we arrived after it had closed and left before it opened, so tried to keep a pretty low profile. But we did have a good night's sleep in the car. It was relatively quiet, and it was nice knowing that there were bathrooms nearby. So we had a peaceful night, and then this morning woke up around 7:30 and had some leisurely time to enjoy a nice hot cup of tea before heading out. Right now we are on kind of an expressway, but you can see that it is a little bit foggy outside and a little bit windy, so kind of a cold, chilly morning here to start the day. We have finally arrived in Kakunodate. This is an ancient samurai town. Let's go check it out. It has started to mist a little bit, so it is cool and almost raining. Walking along the main road, I came to the Ishiguro Samurai Residence. This 200-year-old house is the oldest samurai residence in Kakunodate. Since it is open to the public, I went in for a look. Videos weren't allowed, but I was able to walk around and see the traditional architecture, the garden, and other historical artifacts. So we just went into the Ishiguro Samurai Residence. It was 500 yen for each person to enter, and you got to go see inside. There's also a huge tree at the corner, which is 400 years old. Next up is lunch. This 2-story tea house was near the Ishiguro house, so I stopped by for some hot noodles and their local specialty, kiri tampo. This is kiri tampo, an Akita specialty that is pounded rice with a sweet sauce on top. Oh, it's hot. Look at that steam. This will be great with my udon. Here we have mountain yam udon. Itadakimasu. So we filled up with some hot soba and are back on the little road, taking in this samurai town. This area has a traditional craft called kabazaiku, which uses the bark of a cherry tree to create different wood crafts. Since we're in Akita, we have to meet an Akita dog. So we are waiting here to meet the doggy. Spotted. And that was our Akita dog experience. I walked in and out of a few more samurai houses before leaving the area. So we left the samurai residence area, got in the car for about 20 minutes, and now we are at the Dakigaeri Valley or Gorge, where we will go for a little walk to see what kind of nature is here in store for us. So let's go. In this forest, the bright green of the moss and the trees is just glowing. This is Mikairi no Taki, the highlight of this walk. So we finished our little walk around the Dakigaeri Valley. There wasn't a lot of fall colors, but we got to see a great waterfall at the end. Now we are back in the car and heading to a supermarket to pick up some ingredients for dinner and then to the campsite. We picked up some groceries from Grand Mart. I'll show you the haul later, but now we are heading to Tazako Lake to check into our campground for tonight. We just got to our campsite and it is right across from Tazawa-ko. This is Tazawa Lake, Japan's deepest lake. And here's our little site for tonight. Going to set up our car here and enjoy the evening. So this is inside of our camper van, and through the window we can see the lake. This is Japan's deepest lake, as I mentioned, and we are facing west, so this is where you would see the sunset. But today is quite a cloudy day, so I don't think we'll get blessed with that today. But it's still very nice. Out of our window, we can see the lake. Kind of. So this is our haul for tonight. We have over here to start some beef. We were going to campfire grill this, but it's really cold outside and we're still trying to go to an onsen tonight, so we might just cook this over a gas stove. But we also found this little fun hot pot kit. It comes with vegetables and fish and dumplings and looks like some meatballs or some sort of balls. So we're going to put this into our seaweed soup to make a delicious hot pot. Also picked up some mochi slices, which can be great in the soup or also grilled. And finally, I got what I was supposed to get last time. This is nagaimo, and this is what I love to have grilled, so we can also cook this over the gas stove. And since we ran out of tea, we got a decaf apple tea to enjoy for evenings and morning warm-up. And I have some yogurt. Nothing special about that. Alright, let's get cooking! And now, time to cook on the little gas stove. A little seasoning, some pepper, some salt. Also threw on some of the nagaimo to crisp up. These are good with a little bit of soy sauce. Gonna drop a little bit on. Here is our vegetable fish seaweed soup. And grilled meat, potatoes. Itadakimasu. Mochi. Mochi. Whew, I am so full. Just finished our full meal that included the hot pot with the fish, veggies, and rice cake, as well as some grilled nagaimo and steak. So it was great to fill up. It's actually only 5:30 right now, but it feels like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. All of these days of driving around and seeing so much has been very tiring, and the sun goes down here super early. So the sunset before 5 p.m. tonight. So making me feel like I'm really tired, but the good thing is we are going to go to an onsen to take a bath for tonight. I'm gonna get all warm and then sleep and enjoy another night's sleep. So to the onsen and then off to bed. Time for a bath at Mizusawa Onsen. Woo! Looking forward to this. So I just got out of the onsen and now we are back in the car. Mizusawa Onsen was a bit of a trek away from the campsite, but it was so worth it. Even though the 900 yen is a little more expensive than other onsens, the baths were so hot, and there was a really big outdoor bath and 2 indoor baths as well. And I loved soaking in the waters. There was almost no one else there, and the bath was 1 meter deep, which is very deep for a Japanese onsen. I was able to soak almost by myself in the super hot waters and just relax from the day. So got very, very toasty. Now we're back at the campsite having some of our cut fruit and then going to call it a night. See you tomorrow. Hello everybody and welcome to today. This is day 6 of my Tohoku campervan adventure, and right now I'm at Lake Tasako in Akita prefecture. Now without further ado, it is day 6 like I mentioned, and I just got 11 hours of sleep. It's 9 a.m. here. We have some hot water boiling, ready to make some hot tea and enjoy this view outside of our van, which is of Lake Tasako during the fall. Cooking up some hot water for our morning tea. It's a new apple tea that I got. Hello everyone, we have left our campground and now we are back in the mountains driving to our next destination. We filled up on gas before heading out and are now on our way through this very bumpy road. In the morning we had actually pretty nice weather. There was some sun and blue sky, but right now it has turned rainy again. So we are dealing with that as we drive today. A little bit overcast and cool. This car also drips condensation. So I have had water dripping on me from the ceiling. Not sure why, but that is another part of our morning routine here in this little camping car. The area that we're driving through already has a lot more fall colors than other parts that we've been through. And right now it is late October, driving in Akita. So we trucked up that hill, made our car work pretty hard, but now we are at the Gosho Cafe. On Google Maps it said it was closed, but very lucky for us, it's actually open so we can grab a bite to eat before going on a little nature walk. But the fall colors here have been absolutely stunning and the rain just let up, so now we can actually enjoy it. So there is lots of great foliage as well as some steaming onsen atmosphere to take in here. This is some beef soba, and in here, we have some inari sushi and our lovely view. Itadakimasu. We just finished our meal of soba and curry in the restaurant with the great view, and now we are outside. Hallelujah, the rain has stopped, so going for a little nature walk right beside the cafe and onsen. And right away, it smells like eggs. Sulfur, sulfur. This area is full of geothermal activity, so we should be able to see lots of steamy smoke and smell it too. Woo! Look at all of the steam rising from here. It smells so eggy, but a really cool view of these muddy volcanic baths, muddy volcanic swamp, and the foliage around us of fall. So what we have here is Konya Jigoku, or the Dyer's Vat Hell. You can see, oh my gosh, on the surface of the water, it is bubbling. And the sign says that it is at 94 degrees Celsius, this muddy pond. Oh, holy shit-jangles. This looks like a toilet. Look at this pipe that has just been disintegrated. Here's one that's okay. Here's one that is not okay. I have never seen an atmosphere or landscape like this before, so I am just awe-inspired, jaw-dropped at all of this here. Well, that was our short little nature walk here in the little mud valley of geothermic wonder. I'm so glad that the rain let up right as we started the walk, so we got to enjoy all of the colors and the surrounding environment. I'm still in so much awe of everything I saw. Even the smell of the sulfur was really cool to take in. So now, since we are at this onsen that specializes in mud bath and volcanic activity, we are going to go take a little dip. Lucky us, they offer day tripping, so going to see what it's like. A little afternoon soak here at the onsen. So this onsen place has a special type of hot bath that's actually dry. You lay down and the floor is heated through geothermic heat, and the humidity is also controlled. So we are going to try that first. So we got a change of clothes, and then we lay a towel down and then lie on the ground, and we're gonna get pretty sweaty probably, and then go to the onsen and wash it all off. Oyasumi nasai. Well, I fell asleep. That was so nice. Now off to the baths to rinse and check out these special mud baths. So I just got out of the onsen. This place had some really cool baths. One of them had a little box of mud that you could spread on yourself, like a little paste, and then sit in the water and wash it off. There was also one that was super, super hot and muddy looking inside, so you couldn't see through the water. There was one that had little bubbles, as well as a waterfall onsen. There's a steam bath where you just stick your head out and the rest of your body is inside of a little box that is steaming. They had a full steam room as well as an outside bath. So this entire place was really cool. I love that we got to see and walk around the volcanic mud area beforehand and then go right next door to the onsens that is using this heat and mud and water to create baths that we can soak in. So now that we're all warm and clean, we are going to a very special surprise. Today we are actually staying in a hotel instead of our camper van. It's day 6, so I thought it would be fun to mix it up a little bit, give us a bed to sleep on, and to recharge from all of the car camping. So tonight we won't have to make our own meal. We get to have a little bit of food that is made for us. So looking forward to that. Let's go to the hotel. Welcome to Shin Tamaga Onsen. Made it to these lovely beds. Woohoo! We have also taken this opportunity to do some of our laundry using the machines at our hotel. So today we have the buffet. We have some Akita specialties like this kiri tampo, which is a stew, tempura mushrooms, lots of different proteins like chili shrimp, pork, fish, vegetables, and we have over here a beef stew and some sashimi. Itadakimasu. So we had dinner at the hotel buffet. There was a good amount of Akita specialties, and then afterwards I went into the onsen baths. And the thing that this area, Shin Tamagawa Onsen, is known for is its acidic baths. So the water here is extremely acidic, and I went in the baths and it was crazy because it made your skin kind of prickle. And there was also a place where you could drink the water diluted, and it was so acidic. I was shocked by it. But I had a fun time hopping in and out of the baths. Now it is evening time and I am excited to sleep in a bed, so I will be turning in for the night. This was day 6 on the camper van trip, and waking up tomorrow to another adventure. See you then! Tomorrow we'll be halfway through our adventure. See you for day 7. Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. It is day 7 here on our campervan Tohoku trip. And yes, that means we are almost halfway done with this 2-week adventure. Oh my gosh, time is flying. I can't believe it myself.
but I woke up early today. Right now I am at the Shin Tamagawa Onsen, an onsen that is known for its extremely acidic onsen baths, and I took a morning soak, so now I am all warmed up, ready to get a little bit of breakfast and then head on the road as we make our way to the next prefecture, which is Aomori. If you have liked these videos, don't forget to give them a like and comment below on what has been some of your favorite destinations to see. Now without further ado, let's get going!
We are now leaving Shin Tamagawa Onsen and are on our way back through the mountains. Finally, there is some sun today, so I can show you the beautiful foliage along the way. We have made it down the mountain and are now back in civilization where there are fields and other buildings around. No more fall colors right now. So we have made it to our activity for today. This is called rail biking, Odate Kosaka. That's right, we are going to be biking on an abandoned railway on these modified bikes. Here are all of the bikes on the railroad. There are many different types for 4 people, 2 people, even solo bikes. Here we go! We're off on our little bikes. Look, I'm pedaling on a railway. At the end, the bikes are turned around. Here we are at the end. Just had the bikes turned around, so time to head back. And we made it! Coming back in at the start, roaring first place. So that was our rail biking adventure. It took about 30 minutes and we went halfway, then the bikes were turned around, but it was really fun because you could bike without using your hands and just enjoy the scenery along the way. And there was a pretty cool point where we were on the bridge over the water, and there was also some mountains and fields in the distance. But now it is lunchtime, so we are on the hunt for a restaurant to get some food at before we continue along the journey. Let's go get lunch.
We have a full plate of kaki or oyster fry and all of these small dishes to go along. Itadakimasu!
So we had a nice lunch break here in the city. I got some kaki fry or some fried oysters along with rice, miso soup, chawanmushi, and some pickles. And now we are back in the car going to Aomori. We are heading out of the mountains, out of the city, towards the water where we will be able to see the coast on the western side of Japan. Let's go! And it has started to rain again. Just our luck. We have some windmills in the distance. We have made it to the coast. You can see ahead of us the water. This is the western side of Japan that we have made it to. We've made it to Aomori! Woohoo! Welcome to Aomori, everybody. We have made it to Japan's Honshu Island's northernmost prefecture. Woo! And we also made it to the water. This is the western side of Japan, sometimes known as the Sea of Japan, and we have a little bit of sun. There is a great little beam coming through the clouds right here, so it looks very nice as we are on this now coastal journey. Thanks for driving us to Aomori. Look at this. You can see the rays through the cloud. Believe it or not, but this camper van has made it so far already, but lots more to go. So we have entered the Juniko Lakes, which is a group of lakes and marshes and forests here at the Shirakami-sanji World Heritage Site. And in 1704, there was a large earthquake causing the ground to collapse and forming 33 lakes and marshes. One of them is called Aoike Pond, and this means blue pond, so we will go see this one. Here we are. Ooh. Look at that. Even though it's not the best lighting, you can see this is a blue little lake. So we were able to reach Aoike with just a short little walk from the parking lot, about 10 minutes. It is a very small little pond, but it definitely has a deep blue color. Even though the sun isn't right overhead, you could still see some of the hues in this almost sunset time. And now we are off to go look for some ingredients for dinner and then to find a place to camp for the night. So this is what we picked up from the mart today. We have some of the kiri tampo, these rice cakes that are rolled that we've had in nabe and grilled before. So we're gonna make a soup with that. Got some morning yogurt. We have some pork to put into the soup, some aomori, apples, straight from this prefecture, some veggies, and then our soup base today will be a yuzu salt soup base. Gonna try that out. And then we have some oranges to add to our fruit stash and mushrooms. So going to cook this up and hopefully have a good meal. So we were originally going to go to a campground by the water, but we couldn't really find the entrance and it looked a little bit sketchy. So we drove a little bit farther to get to the next Michino Eki, just 20 minutes down the road. So we are here now, going to cook up a great dinner and enjoy the evening. Made yuzu salt soup with kiritampo, pork, and veggies and mushrooms. Itadakimasu. Well, it is starting to get cold and I have finished dinner and am ready to get into my sleeping bag, which has thankfully since day 4 stopped smelling like fish, so I can get some sleep for tonight. I am super tired, even though I did sleep a lot last morning, and anyway, I am going to go to bed now. Still have a very busy another week to come, so going to rest up and I'll see you on the next video.
It's a rainy morning.
Good morning, everyone. Waking up today, day 8 in Aomori. Let's go see what's outside the camper car. Woohoo! Welcome to Aomori. And here you can see we are by the water. It was quite rainy this morning, so I didn't want to get out of bed. It's about 8 a.m. here. And look at that. Good morning, everybody. Here we are in Aomori, Japan on our Tohoku road trip adventure. This is Kasose, the Michino Eki Fukaura, which is apparently known for its grilled squid. All right, the windows have been wiped. The car has been converted back to driving mode. So we are ready to head out and on to the road. So we just popped off the side of the road for this tree. Why, you might ask? Well, this is a ginormous ginkgo tree, and it probably needs a couple more weeks or maybe a month to turn yellow, but when it does, it becomes a fantastic sight. The sign actually says that this is Japan's biggest ginkgo tree. Just towers above us. This ginkgo tree is over 1,000 years old, is about 31 meters tall, and has a trunk circumference of 22 meters. It's a big boy. And these are what ginkgo leaves look like. Nice little fan shape. Just at the very tip of the tree right here, we're starting to get some yellow. There are some landforms across the water that I want to say could be Hokkaido. Across the water. We are heading to Yaki Ika Dori, which is Grilled Squid Street. There are no times listed, so will there be squid or will there not be squid? Only 1 minute will tell. Let there be squid. So this is a fish store, and next to it is where they grill the squid, but it kind of looks closed. A few minutes later, here is our grilled ika. Oh, with some mayonnaise. Here is some fresh squid leg. Dip in some mayo. The best 10 a.m. snack you could ask for. The nice thing about this squid is that it is cooked so perfectly that even though the pieces are still a bit thick, they aren't chewy and are quite delicious. Well, that was very tasty and got me thinking that I should be starting every morning with a bit of grilled squid. Ha 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 ha. But we are continuing our journey along the coast. Let's go. We have made it to the Takayama Inari Shrine. Time to climb.
The path of torii gates just continues and continues. It's really pretty because there are so few people here. Compare this to Fushimi Inari, and this is like a deserted island. But I am not complaining. Just look at this. This is the top after the pathway of gates. Well, we just finished going to the Takayama Inari Shrine. It was such a lovely shrine. There were so many torii gates in a row, and they went slightly up this little mountain, so when you got to the top you could look down and see all of them snaking below. So we had some blue skies, some puffy white clouds, and a little bit of reflection in the pond, so made for some great photos that I am really excited to have taken. Now we are back in the car, continuing north as we head to Cape Tapi. We are on our way to get lunch at the Tapi Cape, but came across this observatory on the mountain that we just climbed, where we get to see the sun coming through the clouds, and it's sprinkling a little bit, but this winding road beneath us that is just starting to turn its fall colors, so I had to jump out and take a picture and show you guys. So we climbed some stairs to make it to the top of the observatory. This is the view we had before of the sun and the clouds. And then over here, we have the windy road. And across the way, this is Hokkaido. Wow! These mountains are Hokkaido. And this little light in the center is where I think we are going to get our meal for today. So a little bit more driving, but take in this amazing view, the tip of Honshu and the entrance of Hokkaido. We have made it here to Cape Tapi, one of the northernmost parts of Aomori and Honshu Island. Not the most northern, but one of them. And here you can see Hokkaido across the water. Then across the water here is an undersea tunnel where the Shinkansen passes through. So we were planning on getting some seafood bowls, but the restaurant was closed, so we came here instead to get some ramen. 3 types of seaweed in this soup. There's also a big scallop inside. So we walked around Cape Tapi, got to see the lighthouse, the view over the water towards Hokkaido and where the underwater tunnel is, got some food, and now we are heading back on the road to go pick up some ingredients for tonight's dinner. Let's go! The sun is starting to go down, and so we're getting some nice sunset colors here on the clouds above the water. So with these items, we are going to try to steam some rice because tonight is curry night. So for tonight, we are going to have this apple garlic curry and then rice that I'm making. We're also going to have some of this butaman or pork buns that will be steamed. Picked up some fresh mushrooms and going to add some extra chicken to the curry. So this is our main meal for tonight. Alright, these buns have been steaming. Let's check them. Woo-hoo. Round one, meat bun. And here is our meal. Aomori Ringo garlic curry with extra veggies, chicken and mushrooms over cooked brown rice. Itadakimasu! Aomori car curry! So this curry has a sweet flavor with a bit of spice. It's pretty delicious along with all of our added ingredients and cooked rice. Yay! Another great meal! So you just saw that we had a wonderful meal here in the camping car, the Aomori curry as well as a pork steamed bun. So now I am ready to get warm and head to bed for the night. It's been a long day of sightseeing, and there's even more to see tomorrow as we continue to explore Aomori here in Tohoku. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear in the comments below where you would like to visit in Japan next on your trip. I'll see you in the next adventure! Hello everybody and good morning! Welcome to day 9 of this Tohoku campervan trip. Welcome to Aomori. We are here for a big adventure. This morning we are making our way into the heart of Aomori City, and then after that we will be back into the mountains to catch some of the fall foliage. But I'm super excited to be here in Tohoku. Yesterday we got to see Hokkaido from across the water, which was an amazing sight. And now I am looking forward to learning more about Aomori, having some seafood breakfast, and enjoying our time here. Without further ado, let's go explore Tohoku! So now that we've had over 1 week of car camping under our belts, we've started to get used to the whole experience. Basically, mornings start with waking up, converting our sleeping mattress back into its folded state so it takes up a little bit less room, wiping down all of the windows, tying the curtains, and then moving all of the stuff in the front to the back, and then heading out for the next adventure. The car itself has been getting us around. We feel like it's a little dinged up, and it's probably been on many adventures before us. But so far it's held up, so that's pretty much the biggest and most important thing here. But we sleep pretty well at night, which is nice. It's probably mainly due to the very nice mattress that we have. And then because we're able to cook a little bit in our car, the steam and heat from the evening's meal kind of starts keeping the car warm. But we really like the lights that are in the car and the ability to charge our electronics through the external battery, and then having the little cooler probably isn't essential but has been nice for helping keep yogurt and fruits and some leftover ingredients nice and cool while we travel. So before this trip, I had done a big research task of finding all of these different things to do in Tohoku, narrowing them down to our top favorites, and then creating a rough itinerary day by day of places to go and where to sleep. Our sleeping has mainly been Michi no Eki stations, campgrounds, and one hotel, and that has worked pretty well for us. And every day we use Google Maps to help navigate, and Google Maps has been okay. I actually prefer the navigation systems inside of the Japanese car, but unfortunately ours doesn't have one, so we are relying on Google Maps. The internet is spotty at times, but once we set the location, we usually just don't touch it so that it can get us there the entire way. And I think something we've both been surprised about is in the mountains, the roads here are extremely, extremely curvy. So it's kind of nice being in this small car to tackle the hairpin turns, but we definitely take it a little easy because it struggles to get up the mountains quite a bit. In terms of gas, we fill up every day or every other day just to be pretty full throughout the trip. We really don't want to get caught without gas, so it's better for us to be more full than less full, so that's been pretty good. To fill up a half tank, it's about 3,000 yen, or I think like $22 maybe. So that's been a daily expense that we just have to deal with. And then for lunches, usually we find a local restaurant to have some food at. And then for dinner, we've mostly been buying ingredients at local supermarkets or Michino Eki stations and then cooking up something fun. So that's been our adventure in a nutshell. Of course, we've seen lots of cool places in the mountains and up north. There is already a lot of color change for the fall, so that's been really exciting to see. All of my friends in Fukuoka have seen some of the photos that I've shared, and they are like, what? Fall is already happening? And yes, there is quite a big difference between the regions for the time of year. So a lot of places here will also take cash only, so we've carried a lot of cash with us, and then some places also accept card or the electronic QR code payment, so sometimes we'll do that too, but definitely just make sure that you have cash on hand. Time to get an Aomori nokke don, or a seafood over rice bowl. Holy moly. So we will be making a nokke don. We will start at the ticket counter and purchase several tickets. And then with these tickets, we will be able to get rice and other toppings. And they say there's about 30 shops in this area. And then we eat it. So we got our tickets and now we get our rice. Arigatou gozaimasu. This has different types of tuna, maguro, ikura eggs, squid, scallops, umi, so much. So here you can see the different slices of fish. And they have the listing for how many tickets they are.
はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
はい、どうも。はい、はい、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。There are even scallops. Wow. Getting some miso soup. They have 3 types. One with scallops, seaweed, or other seaweed. And here is our completed bowl filled with scallops, ikura, tuna, salmon, yellowtail, and all that good stuff. We have a bowl of hot miso soup and some fried goods too. They also provide wasabi and soy sauce to enjoy. Itadakimasu. These are some thick slices of fish. Now that we've filled up with that seafood bowl, it's time to head to the Nebuta Museum to learn about this special festival that takes place in Aomori. It does occur in August and is accompanied by lots of dancers and then these huge floats that we will get to see up close and personal. And then we have the drummers and the flutes. Here you could see the internal structure. This one looks like it's made out of bamboo and then covered with a washi paper that has been painted intricately. These are such incredible floats. So we just finished our visit at the Nebuta Museum. It was pretty spectacular, and I'm glad we got to go, especially in the morning right before all of the big tour buses and cruise ship groups came. We got out right in time, but walking through the museum was really cool. I didn't know anything about this festival, but it is one that happens in Aomori in August, and there are these huge floats that are made out of these wooden and wireframe structures, and they're covered with paper and then painted beautifully, and it is quite amazing to see them illuminated in the darkness. So it was really neat to be able to walk right up close to these floats, which are changed in the museum every year, and then to learn a little bit about the dancing and the music that happens with the festival, and then to get out. So now we are heading to a supermarket to pick up some groceries because we're going back into the mountains and we aren't really sure if there's other markets around. So I'm gonna go pick up some food for dinner tonight and then we'll head on our way. So we got out of the city and are back in the mountains, and you can see that the scenery has changed right away. We are surrounded by trees again, and when we look up, there are definitely lots of colorful, color-changed leaves to take in. And we just got a glimpse of the mountain that we're going to be heading towards, and it looks like there's snow. So maybe we might actually see some snow on this trip too. We have made it to the Hakota ropeway, where it looks like there are lots of tour buses and lots of other people. So we might be in for a big wait. So we got the ticket and we have to wait 1 hour before we can start boarding. But here we are at the Hakota ropeway. Negative 1.8 degrees Celsius at the top. Get to the top of the ropeway station, saw the fall foliage, and then it did turn to snow-covered trees. Look outside here. Wow. Snow! Snow! So there is a short walking course that you can go on after you get off the ropeway. And today it's a little bit wet and icy because of the recent snow that you can see around us. Who knew we'd be in snow today? Not I. See all these mountains across the way? Snow-capped. And this is October 24th. We have some snowy trees, and behind them, lower down, we have our red foliage trees in the distance.
And that was the nature walk here at the top of the ropeway. A little bit muddy, a little bit slidey, but got some great views of the wetlands and of the snow in the mountains. So we have finished our time at the Hakoda ropeway, went all the way up to the top, walked around, then came back, and then we got a simple meal to eat right at the restaurant nearby. And now we're off to go see some more leaves at a close place, a bridge. We have parked the car on the side of the road, and we have come to the special Jogakura Bridge here in the Valley of Orange. It's getting cold. It is 5 degrees Celsius here. But the view is hot. View is flaming. View is on fire. This is the highest point of the bridge, and below us we have So we are able to walk across the bridge, see the river below, and then up, up, we can see the snow-covered peaks where we were earlier this afternoon. So that was the Jogakura Bridge. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It got really cold when the sun was covered, and now it's about 4 degrees Celsius here, and it's not even evening time. So I hope we survived tonight, but snapped some great photos, got to look down and see the water beneath us, and then saw the snowy tops of the mountains from far away. But now we are heading to our campsite, which is just 7 minutes away. So going to go there, check in, and settle in for tonight. So welcome to our campsite for tonight. There is some gorgeous autumn scenery around us, and we have the mountain in the background that is snowy. It is already very chilly, so it will be exciting to see how we fare tonight. But before that, we are going to the onsen nearby to wash up, and then we will start cooking for the evening. Yay! Across the way is the onsen. So I just finished bathing at the onsen bath. It was a very interesting mixed gender bath, which meant that both the men and the women were together. But did that, then went to the separate women only bath, got to wash up, which was really nice. Now I'm all warm. Now we're heading back to the campsite to cook dinner. Here we have a seaweed shiitake mushroom soup, and on the grill we've got some piman, shiitake, and pork and beef. But we do have corn too. In my pocket, corn in a bag. That's how they sell it here in Japan. I guess you can't expect much from packaged corn, but this corn is very mediocre. It's kind of chewy and no juice, a little sticky. But yeah, it's corn. But the meat, so much better. We finally cut into our Aomori apple, and it is delicious. All the other nights we've been too full to eat it, but tonight have some room for dessert. And the Aomori apple is sweet and very crispy, so A plus for that. Well, we finished our dinner and our campfire and are in our camper van now. I can see my breath in here. That's how cold it is. It is below freezing outside, and our damp towels that were on our chairs froze into their shape, and our hands froze as we washed the dishes. So it will be our coldest night here in Aomori and on this trip. But wish us luck. We are going to brush our teeth now, get ready for bed, and try to stay warm. Oyasumi nasai. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a freezing morning here, day 10 in Tohoku. This morning we have some frozen windshield from the condensation. That's how cold it was. We have just left our campsite in a brisk morning rush. Now we are off to see the first sight of today, which is just a couple minutes away. This is the Jigoku Numa Pond. It was created about 800 years ago. So that was the quick view of the pond. It smelled a lot like sulfur and was probably what we were smelling all evening at the campsite. But now we are back in the car and heading towards Lake Tawada. Hello everybody, we have made it to the Oraise stream, one of the places that I've been most looking forward to on this journey. We are here in the middle of so much nature, and we are going to be able to walk around the water. So we first parked our car near Lake Tawada, and then we took the bus from the JR Nenokuchi station, and right now we got off at the Kumi no Taki Falls, and we will walk to the left back to our car. But you can see that there is much more to this map. We're about halfway through the entire thing, but without further ado, let's go. So right outside of the bus station, this is the Kumoi no Taki Falls. It is 20 meters long and has 3 tiers. So we are now walking on the path. You can see the stream to the side of us, and it is moving quite quickly and is very near to the walking path. So I could see how it could definitely overflow in times of heavy water. But we have a lot of fallen leaves on the ground and a beautiful morning here. Across the way we have another waterfall. So we've been following this path, moving very leisurely because I have to stop every few minutes to take a photo or a video because it's just so stunning. But it's been fun to practice slow shutter photography on this water. And it's good to note that this path goes sometimes by the stream, other times it crosses right next to the road, so you can be close to cars and that could take away from the serenity a bit. But when you're next to the stream, like we are right now, it's really, really nice. But we've been walking for about an hour now, and there are started to be more people on the path, and it's a bit narrow at times, so just letting everyone pass through when they need to. But boy, this is such a fantastic place to enjoy the scenery, and you can see we have a bit of the fall colors turning, so we have bright greens, bright oranges, and then the sound of the water, the movement of the water. It is quite amazing. So we've come 2.1 kilometers from the Kumoi Falls, and the next stop is this Tamadare Falls. So there is a rest stop here along the way. It's been quite a while of walking, but nice to know it's here. So the falls, the Tama something falls, was across the street and didn't look so magnificent, so we kind of just skipped it and kept walking, and now we're continuing along the path. Still beautiful. Okay, to the Choshi Big Falls, which is a highlight of this trip. 1.2 kilometers. Right next to this beautiful spot, there is an artist oil painting. I see it in the distance. We have the Choshi Falls, a very wide and aggressive waterfall that is coming into view now, but this is one of the highlights on this route. Although I'd like to say that there are many highlights, but I will show you now. We have come to Choshi Falls. So that was the Choshi Falls. Of course it is a highlight, so everybody was packed around trying to get a picture, but we got some good ones. We are continuing on the trail now towards our kuruma, getting away from the tour bus of people, but just a little bit more until we finish. And we have 1.4 kilometers to Nenokuchi, the area where we started. This part of the path goes right by the road, so you can see how busy it has gotten with cars. And during the peak season, private vehicles are actually not allowed. So you do have to come on foot, or there's a bypass that you have to drive through, and then there will be a shuttle bus and other buses that come this way that you need to take. But this beautiful nature walk reminds me of Kamikochi in Nagano. That is a walk I did this past summer. So if you want to see more beautiful Japan nature, check out that video, or the Kumano Kodo Pilgrimage Trail, where we also got to be surrounded by nature, and that one had a lot less people than this one here, which is getting a little crowded. And we have made it back to where we started. On this map, you can see that we are now at Nenokuchi, right by Lake Tawada. Woo, Lake Tawada! We're back! We have made it back to Lake Tawada. My watch just buzzed that it has been 5 miles and 3 hours of the walk along the mountain stream. We definitely took our sweet time enjoying the nature, taking pictures, taking videos, and I loved being in that little environment. The amount of people was not my favorite, but the stream itself, the rocks, the leaves, the light filtering through the leaves was awesome. So now we are going to go get some food. Let's eat! Here's a little omiyage store and a restaurant, Mizu Umite. Just finished our meal, so we are getting some apple soft serve. Ringo! Itadakimasu! Oishii! This is some good apple ice cream. Sweet and creamy and crisp. Welcome to Lake Tawada. Here's a sightseeing boat. Now we're heading around the lake to our campground for tonight. We just got to our campground for tonight. This is called the Urutabe campground and it's right by the lake. Let me show you the campground. So you can see that there are a lot of people who are already setting up their spaces. And the lake is right through the trees. Welcome to the lake. People have some great setups here. They probably got here pretty early to get some of these best spots and already pitched their tents. And here's our noble steed. We've named this camper van Fish for the smell it had for the first 4 days because of the sleeping bags. But it has made it to the campground where we can enjoy tonight. After checking into our campsite, we relaxed a little bit and then headed out to get some groceries for dinner. There aren't many stores or conveniences in this area, or any at all, so there was only one tiny market that we could find, but luckily they had some provisions so we can have dinner tonight. And then really close to that store there was a hotel that offers day tripping, so we got to take a wonderful little bath, soak in the hot water, and clean off for the night. So now we're heading back to the campground, going to relax a bit, have some dinner, and enjoy the evening. So I was a little bit worried about being able to find provisions for tonight, but lo and behold, we have found food. There's a little mart near us, so we were able to pick up some tofu, a new bag of oranges, some butabara pork slices. We have some udon packets for soup, and we have some mushrooms, a apple pie, and a little treat for tonight, some Aomori apple cider, craft cider, or it says craft juhai. So we will have this to enjoy the evening. And actually we're gonna use all of this stuff, minus the oranges, to make a soup. Very simple soup for tonight. Just wanting to keep it easy for
the evening as we are pretty tired and looking for a restful night. So time to get cooking our soup for tonight. Here we have fresh udon seaweed soup with mushrooms and pork, overflowing with deliciousness. Itadakimasu. Oh, thank God there's a pull tab. On the sweet side, not too bubbly. Very appley. This tastes like Tohoku adventure. Woohoo! Alright, friends. So we finished that apple cider. Like I said, it tasted like Tohoku adventure. And now we are ready for bed. Can't believe that 10 days have already gone by. It was like a blink of an eye, and I can't even remember where I was this morning. So it'll be nice to go back when I'm editing this video to remember all of the adventures that we got to go on. But I am hoping that tonight is not as cold as yesterday, because yesterday was absolutely freezing, but going to hopefully bundle up and wish for some warm sleep. And tomorrow is a leisurely day, hopefully, so looking forward to that. I'll see you on the next day. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 11 on this Tohoku campervan adventure. That's right, we have flown through this trip and are almost near the end, but we are having fun every single day of the way. Now, last night we stayed by Towada Lake, and compared to the night before, it was so much warmer, so that led to a very nice evening. Got to wake up quite leisurely, sip on some hot apple tea in the morning, and take some videos around the lake. So really enjoyed that. Now you can see that the scenery around me is beautiful, and that has been the best part about staying in this area. But we are going to be heading back into the camper van soon and making our way down south. We are heading to the coast of Iwate prefecture now, and we'll be slowly making our way back to the beginning in Chiba prefecture. So we're going to buckle up and enjoy the next part of this trip. I hope you enjoy! Stopped for some snacks at the local Family Mart. Thank God for Japanese convenies that are so clean, have so many fun snacks and bathrooms. So I have a hot chai latte. I also have a hot peach tea latte, looks new and looked interesting. So we got some shiitake mushroom snacks. Continuing the ride. Shiitake mushroom snacks. Breakfast of mushroom snacks.
Oh,
How's the
that's really good, yo.
peach tea?
Right?
Yum yum. Milky tea latte. I bet it'll pair great with these mushrooms. Mushroom! That's delicious. It's like a chip. A mushroomy chip. It has turned rainy now. Our beautiful sunshine is gone and replaced with some gray clouds, foggy mist, and rain. No! On the upside, we have 1 hour until we reach the coast.
but I'm not sure how the views will be once we get there. So we are driving and it is now rainy. Oh no. But the thermometer on the road, or the temperature gauge that we passed, said it is about 12 degrees Celsius. So in our book, that's actually pretty warm compared to the -2 and 7 and 10 degrees Celsius in other parts of the prefectures that we've been around. But some driving notes. Everywhere we've gone, there has been a lot of construction. So there's many parts of the road where we have to stop and wait for either signals or people to tell us that we can go, because the road becomes a one-way traffic road. So that is just something that pretty much everywhere we've gone, we've encountered lots of construction on the road, which is nice that they are improving the roads here, but something to note when you are driving in Japan. Another fun thing that we've noted along the trip are the gas stations. At many of the Japanese gas stations, you don't even need to get out of your car to have it filled up. Usually an attendant will come to your window, and then you just need to say the type of gas that you want and how much you want filled, and they'll take either your cash or your credit card and fill it all up for you, and potentially also even wipe the windows. So it makes it easy if you are traveling and it's a cold day, it's a rainy day, you don't even have to get out of your car. The service here is incredible. There are some stations where you will have to do it yourself, but other than that, I've been quite surprised by how effortless the filling of gas has been on this trip. Wow, look at the amazing view that we have now that we've reached the coast. Rain! Here we are at the Kita Yamazaki Cape. The rain has kind of stopped, but it is still very blustery and gray. Over here, there are a few omiyage stores. Looks like only one of them is open right now, though. So we'll check it out for some lunch. This is the iso ramen, filled with lots of different seafood. We've got a scallop, some seaweed, a mussel, and some ebi shrimp. Itadakimasu. Little salty sea taste. Look at these noodles. They are very thin and curly. A little different than some that we've seen before. And that was our ramen. Time to head outside to see the cape that we came for. At least it has stopped raining for now, so let's get out. So there are 3 observation platforms this way. And it's not raining, which is amazing. But we are surrounded by this kind of misty mist. And it's nice that the ramen shop owners gave us an umbrella that we can borrow to go look at the observatory. Very kind people. Oh boy, this is definitely not the weather for a view other than a view of whiteness. But here we are by the sea here in Iwate. And the picturesque view is of the coast here. Woo! Kita Yamazaki, the North Mountain Cape. Now we will take 363 steps to the second observation point. Wow, the view is perfect through the trees right here on this misty, rainy day. We have the water splashing against the rocks and creating these really cool white caps around them. This is a poop ton of steps. Yabai. My legs are already crying thinking about coming back up here. Whose idea was this? To go down all these steps. My legs are shaking. Ah. So we have made it to the bottom of the stairs. You can see right behind me, we are up close and personal with these huge rocks that have waves thundering beneath them. It is quite a cool sight to see, and even without the bright sunlight, it is still pretty magical. So take in this beautiful view here, and I'm glad we made it, but now we have a lot more stairs to go up, but worth it. At least the view down there was super cool and worth all of the steps that we are now going to have to climb to get back to the parking lot. But very neat, good exercise, and a cool way to experience the coast of Iwate. Ugh. See you after a few hundred stairs. For some reason, these stairs are quite the killer. Taking a little break, but we got up most of that over there. So a little bit more to go, but wow, there are quite a few steps, and it feels much harder than the 1,000 steps that we took to the top of the Buddhist temple on a cliff. I don't know why. But getting this afternoon workout in, when I thought we'd just be stopping by the coast and snapping some photos, it's never that easy. Nope. All right, continuing onwards. Holy smokies, we have made it back to the top. I am sweating bullets here. It was way more difficult than I expected, and it should be nice in this cool weather, but I died on those stairs. But the good thing is we are back and heading towards the car now. I had to take off all my layers, and that's the first time this trip that I'm not in double jackets. So that's just how hot I got climbing those stairs. But the view was great. We added a fun stop to our long drive, and now we are back in the car. So good to have burned some fuel. And fortunately, the ice cream store isn't open right now, but there is an ice cream shop around here that if you're lucky, when you visit, you get to reward yourself with some ice cream. But today we can't. We'll have to look somewhere else. But thanks for coming with me on this Kita Yamazaki little photo trek. Back to the car. We are incredibly lucky because we are back in the car now heading towards an onsen, and it just started raining again. So the entire time that we were out by the Cape, there was a little bit of fog and a little bit of drizzle, but no rain. And then the second we got back into the car, it started to rain. So very lucky that it didn't pour on us, but got to get some moody pictures and a bit of a workout. I definitely felt that. But now we are heading to go rinse off and take a nice bath. Today we are not cooking, we are treating ourselves to a meal at the onsen bath. Some fried chicken wings, some fried shrimp, some tonkatsu, itadakimasu. This chicken wing is a gyoza chicken wing, so it's stuffed with gyoza filling. All right, everybody, we are back in our cozy camper and are ready to wind down for the night. After driving for a bit, we went to a public bath, and there we got to have a nice meal. It was the first evening outside of the evening that we spent at the hotel that we were able to have a meal without preparing it ourselves, so that was very relaxing. And then afterwards got to soak in the bath, so now I've had many showers and baths this week, so feeling pretty good. We drove a little bit more and it is super rainy outside, so decided to stop for the night. So it is going to be another early evening, but we made it. We are in Iwate now and looking towards a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello everybody and welcome to day 5 of our Tohoku campervan car trip. We are here in Iwate prefecture along the eastern coast of Japan. It is finally a sunny day, so I am so much happier than the rain that we had yesterday. So got to wake up to a really nice sunrise and enjoy this blue sky. Now the area that we are in right now is called Rikuzen Takata, and this was an area that was disastrously affected by the earthquake and tsunami in March of 2011. So because there are some memorials in the area, we're going to start the day just walking around to see them and learn a little bit more about what happened. So this is a tsunami memorial museum to remember the loss and to learn about the disaster so that it may never happen again. But you can see some of the destruction that happened in the area during this time. So in the earthquake that happened on March 11th, 2011, the tsunami came through this area, and there used to be over 70,000 pine trees, but they were all destroyed by the waters. But they say that one pine tree survived, and that is called the miracle pine tree, and that is what we can see today. This one has been preserved, and it is said to be a symbol of hope, as it was the lone tree that survived the disaster. It was preserved, and that's what we can see now, using special technologies. It has been treated with insect repellent and antiseptic treatment, and inside the top there is a core rod that helps make it self-supporting. So this tree is dead, but it is standing here as a memory of the disaster. And this is the remains of a youth hostel right in front of the miracle pine tree. They said that this building probably took the brunt of the tsunami hit, and then that is what allowed the miracle pine tree to survive and continue standing. picked up this chunky crunch chocolate frappe from Family Mart over here. I think it's a new product where you use the coffee machine, it adds in milk and cream, you stir it up and you get this nice icy drink. And this one has some crunchy bits in it, so a little crunchy, a little cold, lots of chocolate. Hello everybody and welcome to our next prefecture. We are in Miyagi. Miyagi is known for being the home of Sendai City, which we will be heading to after this, but I had to make a brief stop because right now we are at a place called Matsushima. Matsu means pine and Shima means island, so this area is known for its pine tree islands. It is listed as one of Japan's 3 most scenic spots, of which also includes Miyajima in Hiroshima and one other place that I haven't been. But since we're close, I wanted to just stop by and show you this Matsushima area. Now, if you ask me, I think I've been to some places that are much more scenic than this, but I didn't make up the rules or the listing, so I'll let you decide for yourself. Welcome to Matsushima here in Miyagi. So we'll take a little walk to this Oshima. Across the way you can see a red bridge, and this is a bridge you can go across to access some of the islands. It can be a fun activity if you're in this area for longer. And here, connected to the tip of this pine tree, is a huge spider. Yabai, yabai. It is actually October 29th, so just around Halloween time, but I could do without a spider. This one's quite big. There are many dragonfly out right now. There is a little shrine on this Oshima island. So this was your speed introduction to the Matsushima area. I didn't spend nearly enough time for this place, but if you want to come here yourself, you can definitely explore. I think it would also be really nice to go up to the mountains where you can have a better vantage point of this area and see it from above. But now I'm going to head into the city because I am looking forward to a meal that was recommended to me by a friend. It's time to get some pizza! And we are back in the big city. This is the city of Sendai, one of Japan's largest cities. So we are at a pizza place for lunch today, as it was a recommendation from one of my friends in Fukuoka. Hey, look at this. We have a mushroom margarita pizza. So we are back on the road after stopping for a little lunch break at a pizza place in Sendai. It was really good and I enjoyed the pizza crust. The only thing that was a little bit funny was that our 4 type of mushroom pizza came with some enoki mushrooms that I thought was so Japanese and probably in a different country, their mushroom pizza would not have those enokis. But enjoyed that, also had some pasta, and now we are heading back in the car to the mountains where we are going to have our campsite for tonight. This is the Kashima little roadside rest stop. When we were on the major highway going to Sendai, it was extremely windy and so many bugs rammed into our windshield. So you can see that there are so many bug guts. We tried to clean it off, but all it did was smear. So I will need to clean this windshield when we stop next time because I cannot film anymore any nice scenery. It is all just smears of bug. Really close to our campground, there is an onsen bath and a little market, so picked up some smoked eggs, took a bath, and now we're going to settle down in the campsite. We have made it to Kawauchi no Sato. This will be the area where we are camping tonight. Cute little lawn space, and they also have a barbecue area, but we'll be enjoying this little quiet place in the mountains. This is Kawauchi no Sato. Time for the daily conversion of the car, moving all of our stuff from the back to the front. This is one of the items that we picked up yesterday. It is shiso leaf wrapped around miso and kuri, which I think is chestnut. So it's a bit sweet, a bit salty, and a bit leafy. And I think it's been fried. So a cool snack I've never seen before. So here is what we have for tonight. We picked up a seasoned pork at the station. This we will have to heat up, but it has already been cooked and seasoned. This fun guy is tako shumai or squid siumai, so we'll steam this. I got this tomato miso paste, and they say it can be used as a sauce, so I'm going to try to make a little pasta using this. We also got some veggies, some bok choy. This is a fish cake. This is leftover udon from a meal before. Some basil, and for dessert we have this Zunda cream daifuku mochi, and this is a specialty of Sendai apparently, but it is a little daifuku mochi snack that has cream and green beans inside. So let's cook dinner tonight! So this was tonight's creation, a tomato miso udon pasta with some greens and pre-seasoned pork and some octopus shumai on the side. I would say that the fresh basil that was added, I thought I added too much, but then again, you can never have too much basil. But it really lightened up the dish, and the tomato miso was actually pretty good, so I used it just like a pasta sauce. And then the meat is very tender, but I think that the seasoning is a little overpowered by the tomato miso. But overall, a nice dish, and I wanted something not Japanese, so got that checkbox checked, and now we get to enjoy a good meal. So we have 8 little pieces, and in case you're wondering, Zunda is a paste, a coarse paste made from edamame, the Japanese soybean that is mixed with sugar and salt. So it's a green paste that is common in this region for making things like smoothies, Japanese mochi, and here we have our own cream zunda Tohoku. Cream and a little soybean paste. Very sweet.
Nice.
Can't really taste soybean, but I love mochi, so it's a good snack. Hello everybody and welcome to day 13 here on our Tohoku campervan car trip. Woo! We are nearing the end of the trip and wow, time has flown. I say that every day, but that is exactly how I feel, especially since today I slept for 12 hours. Yes, somehow I was able to sleep so well last night, and since we have a very leisurely day planned, I slept in until about 10 a.m. So great night's sleep aside, we are going to be checking out of this location and heading down, continuing along the coast to our next place, which is in Ibaraki prefecture. So we'll be making some stops along the way, seeing some scenery, and of course, enjoying this non-rainy weather. Hallelujah! So if you have enjoyed watching these videos, I hope you give it a thumbs up. It has been quite an adventure and I've had a lot of fun filming these videos, editing it, and sharing it all with you. So I hope you've been able to enjoy all of the Tohoku greatness that I have been able to see as well, and hopefully add some of these places to your next trip. So let's continue the journey as we continue south, making our way back towards Chiba. Let's go. I don't know if you can see, but it is super windy right now. The entire evening was very, very windy. So it was nice to be inside the safety of the car, but we did have some draft last night. I think not all the insulation was completely sealed, but we're waking up to a breezy morning here at the Kawauchi campground. And to start the morning off on the right foot, we have some more smoked eggs. Yesterday, after the onsen, there was a little store next door, and we found these smoked eggs. So since we loved it so much, decided to pick up a pack. They smell just like a ball of smoke. And I checked, this package also has its expiration date, and it says these are good until 2026 January. So not a full year like the other one said, but these can go unrefrigerated, just in normal temperatures for many months. So like they said, this is a good emergency food and full of protein and flavor. So let's have some smoked egg. Ooh, baby! Look at their glassy sheen. Oh boy, it's windy. I hope these peels don't fly away. And these eggs have a much different color. They're more gray, a little brown gray. One smoked egg. Full of smoky flavor. A perfect little snack to start the morning. So we have gotten out of the car for a little photo spot here by the water that we just reached. And we are walking through a tunnel right now to get to the other side. Woo! Right now we are located in Fukushima, right off the coast. We drove down from the mountains and got back onto the water's edge today. So outside of the tunnel, we have reached Bentenjima Shrine. This little shrine, torii gate, on a rock in the middle of the sea. Except unfortunately, looks like access is blocked, so we can just take a nice little picture here. Just kidding, it looks like there is a path down, so we will follow our friend down there to get up close and personal with the shrine. Woo, let's go! So there actually is a path. Wow, we can pretty much walk over the water on this bridge. Oh my gosh, these waves are huge. Oh boy, looks a little bit dangerous, but we'll see how close we can get without getting soaked by the waves. Here is the Torii Gate on the top of the rocks. So we're at the back side of the shrine right now. There are some cool little figures in the rock over here. Some trees growing as well. And there's great little textures on the rock. Looks like porous little textures here. And we're walking back on the bridge, back up to that viewpoint there where we will walk through the tunnel, back to our car, and onto the road. But a fun little stop along the way to see this shrine on a rock in the middle of the sea. We are now entering Ibaraki prefecture. Ooh. So we just got to Ibaraki and we are stopping for lunch at this restaurant that specializes in seafood. So you see I have the sashimi platter with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 types of sashimi. Then over here we have the ebi shrimp, which is 2 massive prawns that have been tempura'd. So we are going to enjoy this lovely set meal here in Ibaraki. Itadakimasu! This miso soup is also very tasty, and it came with a piece of fish that I've already eaten. But the broth itself is full of lots of flavor and is a great way to end this meal. I read online that this restaurant can get very, very popular, especially on weekends, requiring you to have up to 30 minutes or more of wait. But we came just before closing, and so we luckily didn't have to wait at all before coming and got the restaurant to ourselves. So this is where we had our delicious seafood meal, our first stop in Ibaraki. Now we will continue on the road back into our little camper. We have some beautiful sunset colors at this beach today. All these pastels and the dark clouds around. The sun just went down, but we got to see one last thing today, and that is this special beach near where we went shopping for groceries. It is also known as a reflection beach because at the low tide you can see neat reflections on the sand. So got to take a few pictures and videos, and now we are about to turn in for tonight. Going to cook up some soup. We bought a lot of Ibaraki souvenirs, so going to try those out, and then we'll call it a night. See you in the van. So this is what we have picked up for today. We have some pork, some beef, a sweet potato, a melon mochi, some natto, dry natto, mushrooms, an apple, yogurt, some dried sweet potato, and some fried tofu for soup. Woo! Let's get cooking! Since Ibaraki is known for natto, we picked up these dry natto snacks. Looks like this. And they have a wasabi seasoning on them, which is kind of nice. But they definitely are natto, even though it's dried. You can still taste kind of the funkiness of the fermenting. So it's like a bit strange. I do like that it's not sticky. That's one of the parts about natto that I don't love. But yeah, it's a bit strange, but I feel like it's a good gateway snack. If you're trying to like natto, then something like this will get you used to the flavor before getting used to the actual flavor and texture. But an interesting thing that we tried here in Ibaraki, some dried natto. It has a bit of a funky taste to it, some fermenty goodness. But in 100 grams of natto, you have 36 grams of protein, so it's a pretty protein-rich source. As we are having dinner prepared today, I was realizing that today will probably be our last in-the-car campervan meal, our last Michelin star meal in the camper car, because tomorrow we are scheduled to stay in a hotel. Yes, our last night is in a hotel, so that means that this will be our last evening having our little hot pot meal here in the car, and our last evening cozying up in the back of this little truck that we call Fish. So going to really enjoy this last meal. So sentimental, but here we go. Some soup made from Ibaraki ingredients. And here we have the meal of the evening, stuffed with pork and beef. We have some fried tofu, some sweet potato, vegetables, and some things that we had bought yesterday that we hadn't eaten yet. So, looks like a full meal to enjoy. Itadakimasu! We have for dessert tonight a melon fruit mochi. Oh, there is a packet you shouldn't eat. Nice melon flavor, very soft. Actually a little bit firmer than some other mochi I've had because it's not super sticky. Just comes off. But pretty nice. And oh wow, there's a lot of sugar in this. No wonder why I like it. But nice. A good melon mochi to enjoy after dinner. Well, it is that time of evening again. It is time to hit the hay and say goodnight to another big day of adventuring. Tonight is going to be the last evening that I am staying in this camper car, as tomorrow I mentioned I will be at a hotel, which I am very much looking forward to. But in some aspects, I will miss sleeping in this camper car. It is quite cozy, and I do have some really good sleep in this car. So, going to have one last night here. It's not too cold, so I am very thankful for that. And it is pretty quiet where we are now, so it is going to be a very early morning tomorrow. There is a surprise I'm looking forward to showing you, but I need to be going to sleep now so I can wake up in time to see it. But, oyasumi nasai. Till tomorrow.
It's 5 a.m. Good morning. And here we are. The sun is starting to peek through. There's the line of people waiting to the left and right of me. And we have the torii gate right here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 14 of the Tohoku campervan trip. Woo! This is our last full day on the trip, and we started off very early, 5 a.m. exactly, to see the sunrise over a torii gate in the water. The sunrise wasn't as amazing as I had hoped. There were lots of clouds, but still got to see some magnificent scenery, did some slow shutter photography, and the seagulls that were sitting on the torii gate were so cute. So now it is very early, nothing's really open right now, and the place we are going to is about 2 hours away, so we're just going to slowly make our way down to Choshi, Ibaraki, and hopefully finding a cafe or a little coffee shop along the way to have some breakfast and start this morning. Happy last day! We waited for a little bit in a parking lot outside of a cafe, but it has finally opened, so now we get to have a little morning drink and breakfast. Let's go to the cafe.
I'm recording.
We have been driving for quite a while now. After our coffee break, we took a little walk in the Kashima Park, and now we are near Choshi, the area that we will be spending the night. This area looks straight out onto the Pacific Ocean, so we will be able to have a nice view, hopefully, when we get to our hotel. We have arrived in an area called Choshi, a very quiet place by the sea, and stopped for a little lunch at a Hawaiian restaurant, changing it up again, and now we're heading towards our hotel. So as we are winding down on this trip, it was a fantastic experience, and I'm so glad to have been able to travel to so many new prefectures here in northern Japan. It was really fun to have the freedom of the car, and I was surprised by how much easier it was to sleep in this car than I expected. The cleanliness of the bathrooms, the roadside stations, all of the different ingredients that we found made it really fun every night to cook and explore the different areas. And it was so fun to be able to experience fall, especially because right now it hasn't even hit fall in the western part of Kyushu. So I feel like I got to get a jump start on the seasons and all of the beautiful colors and experience so much more of Japan than I had ever before. Tonight we are at the Choshi Grand Hotel, right by the water. And we have made it to our hotel room. This is the Choshi Grand Hotel, which is located right by the sea. You can see outside of our window, we have literally the view of the Pacific Ocean. So far, far from here is my hometown of California, or my home state of California. Woohoo! Hello, family! But now that I have gotten to the hotel and it is day 14 of our trip, it is sad to say it is time to sign off for today and this trip. I hope that you enjoyed coming with me throughout Tohoku and the rest of the surrounding prefectures. I had so much fun and it was just a blast to be able to drive and have the freedom of going wherever we wanted in our little camper van car. There's a lot that I learned about camping, about Tohoku, and about the fall in this area, but I had a lot of fun trying all the different food, going to the different michinoekis, and seeing, of course, all of the fall foliage around that I was able to see. Thank you so much for coming with me on this adventure. I hope you loved discovering this part of Japan with me, and I really hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to give this and the other videos a like and subscribe to see more adventures. I'm already planning for next year, so don't worry, we will have lots more in store. I'll see you again. Bye!